All right, so you may have seen the headlines. Kim Kardashian has a new energy drink out, and it is making some serious waves. And it's not just because of the name behind it, but because of what's inside it. The big claim, all the focus and energy you want from a stimulant, but without the nasty side effects. You know, the jitters, the anxiety, or that awful afternoon crash.
So that's the real question, isn't it? Energy without the jitters. Is that just too good to be true? In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the science, take a hard look at the evidence, and figure out if this is a real game changer or just some very clever marketing.
So what's going on here? Well, the secret is that this drink doesn't use caffeine at all. Instead, it's built around a totally different kind of stimulant, and that could represent a really big shift in how these drinks are made. And that ingredient is called paraxanthine. Now, this isn't some strange new chemical. It's actually something your body is already incredibly familiar with, which is what makes this whole thing so fascinating. The entire idea of clean energy here is based on this one swap. Out with the old caffeine, in with paraxanthine.
Okay, so what in the world is paraxanthine? To really get it, we need to talk about what happens in your body after you drink your morning coffee. See, the caffeine you swallow isn't actually the final product your body uses. It's more like the raw material. And here's the crucial point. Paraxanthine is the main active substance your body creates when it breaks down caffeine. It's not a foreign substance. It's the primary molecule that actually delivers a lot of those effects we're looking for when we need a pick-me-up.
Think about it like this. When you drink coffee, the caffeine makes its way to your liver. Your liver is like a little processing factory. It takes that caffeine molecule and breaks it down, converting it into 3 brand new compounds called metabolites.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this breakdown. It's not an even split at all. Paraxanthine is the main event here. It makes up about 80% of what caffeine becomes inside you. The other two, theobromine and theophylline, are much smaller players in the game. So this leads to the big idea behind these new drinks. The creators basically said, wait a minute, if paraxanthine is the main thing our bodies want from caffeine anyway, why are we bothering with the caffeine part? Why not just skip the middleman and give the body the main ingredient directly? It's a much more targeted approach. Okay, so does this skip the middleman idea actually result in cleaner energy? Let's dive into the science behind that claim. The theory is that by isolating just the paraxanthine, you get all the good stuff while avoiding the potential bad stuff from those other 2 metabolites. And this chart breaks it down perfectly. As you can see, paraxanthine is the one linked to alertness and focus, the effects we want. But the other 2, well, theobromine can sometimes lead to stomach issues, and theophylline has been linked to anxiety and a racing heart in some people. The theory is, if you get rid of those 2, you get rid of their side effects. I absolutely love this analogy because it makes it so simple to understand. Caffeine is like a fast food combo meal. You get the burger, fries, and the drink, whether you wanted all of it or not. Paraxanthine is like being able to walk in and just order the burger. You're getting the main thing you came for. The differences don't stop there. It's also about timing. Since you're taking it directly, paraxanthine gets to work faster, usually in about 30 to 60 minutes. But maybe even more important, it has a much shorter half-life. It clears out of your system in about 3 hours, compared to the 5 or 6 hours for caffeine. And that's a huge deal for anyone who's worried about an afternoon energy boost messing with their sleep. Okay, so the science on paper makes a ton of sense. It's a really compelling story. But we have to be realists here and look at the actual clinical proof. What does the evidence say right now? And this is the big but in the conversation. We have to be really clear about this. While the theory is great, the amount of research we have on taking paraxanthine directly is just a drop in the bucket compared to the ocean of research we have on caffeine. Most of the studies out there are promising, for sure, but they're still very preliminary. We're talking about really small groups of people, studies that only last for a short time, and a real lack of long-term safety data. So while the early results are pointing towards fewer jitters, we just can't make any huge definitive conclusions quite yet. This is such an important point to consider. Making pure paraxanthine is a lot more complicated and way more expensive than just getting caffeine from coffee beans. The fact that companies are willing to spend that extra money suggests that they really, truly believe there's a benefit here that people will actually feel and be willing to pay more for. So let's bring it all back home. With everything we know right now, how do you figure out if this is something you should even try? I mean, who is this product actually designed for?
Well, the answer really depends on how your body already deals with regular caffeine. If you're someone who can drink coffee all day long and feel great, you might not notice a massive difference because your body is already a super efficient caffeine processing machine.
But if you fall into one of these categories, paraxanthine could be a complete game changer. This is especially true for people who are genetically slow metabolizers of caffeine. You know who you are, the people who get super shaky and anxious from just one cup of coffee. By skipping that slow metabolic step, this might offer a much smoother ride. This chart really shows you the key difference in how long these things stick around. Paraxanthine's shorter half-life means it's in and out of your system much faster. For anyone who wants a 3 p.m. boost without it still being there at 10 p.m., this could be a major benefit for your sleep.
But let's end on a really important dose of reality. No matter what stimulant you're using, caffeine, paraxanthine, whatever, it's just a tool. It is not and never will be a substitute for the fundamentals. Good sleep, good food, and managing your stress. That's always going to be your best source of energy. These drinks are just a helpful tool, not a solution.
So that's really what this all boils down to. Paraxanthine seems to be a real science-based evolution in the world of energy drinks. It's not a miracle cure, but it is a smarter, more targeted way to get an energy boost. The big question for the market, and for you, is whether that smarter buzz is worth all the hype.
And of course, just a friendly reminder, this explainer is just for educational purposes. This is not medical advice. Paraxanthine is a stimulant, so if you have any health conditions, especially anything related to your heart or anxiety, you should always talk with your doctor before you try any new product like this. Stay curious and stay safe.